Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 9th. The moon is in Virgo and my brain is on hyperdrive. I have so much to say today. So the moon is being ruled by Mercury, of course, in Pisces, which is in a conjunction with that north node. Intuition is very much on point today. Allowing yourself to be divinely guided is very important right now because that path forward is not clear. The Mercury in Pisces can become quite delulu, so you've really got to make sure that you're not trying to control your thoughts here. You got to kind of let yourself go with the flow, because when we have this Pisces Virgo energy going on in the air, essentially what's happening here is that your conscious mind of Mercury in Pisces is being kind of guided. It's intuitive, right? But that Virgo moon wants to like grab onto all these little tiny details and try to make sense of things. But in Pisces, things really don't make sense when it comes to Mercury, okay? The moon is only going to make two aspects today. One, late afternoon, early evening, depending on where you are, is a square to Jupiter in Gemini, which is also being ruled by that Mercury. So this is really kind of a battle between the information overload and everything being kind of surface level and nobody really talking about the details versus needing to know the details, right? So again, this is where we've really got to lean on that intuition to kind of guide us forward in this type of energy. And then late tonight, around 11:30 Mountain Time, it'll make an inconjunct to the Sun in Aries. That is like a subconscious crossroads energy where we've got to let go of trying to control everything. We've got to let go of trying to know everything. We've got to let go of really trying to make sure that we have everything in place, right? And lean more on the spontaneous, courageous, fun, driven, passionate Aries Sun type of energy. So it's kind of a interesting energy today as far as like leaning on that intuition. But what we also have still going on is the sextile between Uranus and Saturn. This is that collective shakeup that's happening. And I know I've talked about this on TikTok. I don't know that I've done it a whole lot over here, where I talk about the planets as like the gods type of thing, because it helps my brain to like put it into that type of picture. Right, so when we're looking at Uranus, this is like the messenger that is yelling. It's not Mercury that's kind of trying to talk to you internally. It's the messenger that is yelling at the collective, right? Because it's a collective planet. So that financial shakeup, the stability shakeup, the safety, survivability, all of that chaos that's happening in that realm, that is creating an opportunity, or creating a situation where you make your own opportunity, really, with Saturn in Pisces, where Saturn being a social planet, you would see this showing up in your immediate community, whether it is coworkers, family, people that you just run into when you're out and about, gas station, grocery store, whatever. That's usually somebody in that realm or people in that realm that are kind of guiding you. In this case, with the being in Pisces, there's kind of a guidance there, but it's also people that try to like stop you from doing things as well, because Saturn stops things. You would kind of picture this as being like that, you know, if you go biblical, the angel that gets sent down to stop you in your path, right? So there is this kind of thing about like having those boundaries with other people, making sure that you're listening to your intuition and other people aren't coming in and trying to control you. It's also about making sure that you're working on that emotional healing, right? Because if you're coming across things that are really making you anxious with this shakeup that's happening, that's telling you that you need to do some more emotional work to get yourself in a more stable place moving forward. But this is also where you get people who think they have authority over you, whether they actually do or not. Now, it could be bosses, it could be government, it could be just people in your general vicinity that I know I have issues with, like men, you know, who think they have authority over me simply because society says that they do, right? It could be anything of that nature where people who think they have authority over you are trying to control what you're doing. And because it's in that Pisces, there's a lot of them using like manipulative tactics to do that. A lot of look over here while I'm doing this over here kind of energy as well. So you got to make sure you have those good boundaries. This is also a time to create an opportunity where you're making your reality, or like your dreams, a reality type of energy, right? So really look for that space where, like, within your immediate vicinity, what is happening in that immediate vicinity that has to do with this chaotic shakeup, and where is the opportunity that you can create within that. Just make sure that you're being responsible, you're having good boundaries, and you're listening to your intuition while you're doing that. Okay. But I feel personally, I feel like there is not enough urgency within the collective right now. And I've got, like I said, I have a lot to say. I might actually like make several videos today talking about everything that's coming up. Not trying to fearmonger, but at the same time, I don't think people are preparing nearly enough. I think that Jupiter and Gemini is keeping far too many people on a surface level, and they're not really looking at the whole picture. So today, make sure that you're definitely listening to that intuition, and don't fight it when somebody else comes along and is like, oh no, it's not that big of a deal. Okay. If your intuition is telling you it's a big deal, then it is. This is not a time that we want to panic, and we got to be careful with that with the moon in Virgo, because anxiety can get very high with the Virgo moon. But making sure that you're leaning on that intuition can kind of help tamper that anxiety and panic type of energy as well. So let me pull cards for the day. What is our energy for the day for the collective? Oh, too many. I hate when it throws me a whole handful. Just one, please. There we go. We have a Two of Wands here. So there's this energy. With Mercury being direct, and all we have left retrograde is Venus, and it's only retrograde for a couple more days. We're feeling that like energy of like, okay, it's almost time to do something. Like it's almost like you want to go now, but something's stopping you, right? So there is this energy of like, I need to make some decisions. I need to move forward. I need to even follow your own dreams, right? Because the Wands is about like passion and drive, right? So this is about like kind of chasing your dreams, making that decision to move forward for something that lights you up and gets you going and lights your fire, basically. So like there's that energy in the day of like, I got to do something, right? What to focus on today. But we've got our Nine of Pentacles. Right now, not quite yet the time to make the moves. It's time. Right now is observation time. Right now is the time to kind of just sit back and let our intuition guide us on like kind of keeping note. Maybe write down a plan. Allow yourself to be kind of divinely guided on what you need to do next. But the Nine of Pentacles is focusing on like being stable right where you are, knowing that you're in a decent place right now, finding that grounded space before you're moving forward, okay? So it's kind of that conflicting energy. This is going to be our Aries sun here. This is going to be that Virgo moon. So that really make sure that you are slowing down today. What to avoid today? What to avoid? The collective, that Three of Cups, so don't lean on other people for their opinions. I know we do this when things are confusing and stressful and we don't know which way to turn and our brain is kind of getting carried away with us, which it's very much likely to happen today. We can't lean on other people all the time. I know we want to reach out to people to kind of get advice on what to do, but other people are going to tell you what's best for them, what they would do, but what they would do might not be what's best for you. This is why we've got to lean on that intuition right now and work on going with the flow and being more divinely guided as we move forward. We have the world on the end. So we're closing out a cycle. We are closing out an 8-year cycle with Venus, the Venus retrograde. that closes out this Saturday. We're closing out, or not closing out, but we're hitting a reveal portion of a cycle that began in October of 2023. That happens this Saturday. So we're very much in a waiting space of just kind of paying attention, taking note, listening to that intuition to kind of guide us on what our next move will be. But we're not quite at the space of taking that next move yet. And listening to what other people think. Other people are still staying in their, that surface level. They're trying their best to maintain a sense of normalcy, and nothing is normal right now, okay? Also, a lot of other people are kind of high anxiety right now as well. And they could kind of feed a sense of panic as well. You can't really operate properly in a state of panic, okay? So we've got to make sure we're staying grounded in all of this. Clarifiers for the Two of Wands, please. We have the Star. So again, we're starting to see healing and maybe through these retrogrades, maybe you've done a lot of healing, so you're really feeling like you're ready to move forward through that. And Eight of Swords, dude, I got this too, for my personal one. So Star and Eight of Swords, this is healing. This is definitely, you spent that time in your head. You were in that mental prison for a while. You've done a lot of healing work, and now you're able to see the other side, what you can do now. You know that you're in a much better space and you're ready to move forward with that. So that's kind of that energy of the day, is being in a healed space and being ready to move forward, okay? But again, the planets are not quite yet. Clarifiers for the Nine of Pentacles. Clarifiers for the Nine of Pentacles, please. I think I'm going to have to make myself a big breakfast this morning. Oh, we have death, so that the endings, the transformations, right? Like I keep saying, we're going to have to wait for this weekend in particular. I think is going to give us all a lot of clarity on what's actually happening and what's happening next. So we're in a space where we really just got to wait things out and take care of ourselves, right? So we have death and the Eight of Cups. So the transformation is happening. This, when we're talking about these major arcana cards, right? These are the universe is in control. These are well, my brain just stopped. Basically things are out of our control. Kind of the universe is pulling the strings type of energy, right? So this transformation that's happening, it's probably been divinely guided, right? And it's sent you on that healing journey, and you've gotten to a better space, right? But there's still more destruction coming. That's probably going to show you a little bit more, show you the light a little bit more. So we're in a space of be patient, and I know I am sick and tired of being patient because that is not my strong suit. But we are very much in a space of just waiting things out and preparing for what we can, but not actually taking any major steps forward just yet. Eight of Cups is oftentimes seen as walking away from something and kind of going on a little bit of a spiritual trek, leaning more on that intuition to guide you forward. So again, this Nine of Pentacles of kind of staying where you are, being stable, finding your grounded space, and understanding that this destruction is moving us forward and helping us move on to a better space. It's going to be really ugly in the meantime before we get to the other side, but letting ourselves be more divinely guided is going to be helpful in that move forward. Okay, Three of Cups. Why are we avoiding the Three of Cups? Oh, Seven of Swords, because people are shady. And the Lovers. Yeah, we don't want to lean on other people right now. It's hard, but we really can't lean on other people right now because there's some nefarious intentions. Other people are not healed. Other people are not speaking from a genuine space. And I want to say this, there's a lot of people out there that are coming from a genuine space, but what they're saying is still projection nonetheless. I personally am dealing with something right now where somebody is trying to be helpful, but it's not the right thing to do right now because that person is trying to remain in a space of normalcy, and they're trying to like force that sense of normalcy on everybody else, and it's just not, it's not as helpful as they think it is, right? So people can be coming from like a genuine space of wanting to help, but it's not helpful. It's actually going to harm you in the long run, okay? So these conversations that you're having with other people, you got to kind of take everything with a grain of salt right now. With Saturn, or two social planets being in Pisces and Gemini, and neither one of them are particularly happy. Jupiter is in its detriment there, and it's very surface level. Well, things aren't that bad, just let it go, don't freak out, right? And then that Saturn being in Pisces, where things can be kind of underhanded, not clear. There is a fear associated with Saturn as well, and not being able to see things very clearly, and everything feeling so right now. That fear of letting go and kind of going with the flow, that's making it hard to interact with other people right now, because it's just not, they're not getting it. They're not seeing it. They're not leaning on their intuition. They're still trying to maintain control and normalcy, and it's not, those are not the people that you can really take advice from right now, okay? Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Cups, that intuition, that empathy, that compassion type of energy here that's kind of driving this. You know things are changing. You know that you're going to have to make changes. But right now, we really just have to sit back, observe, make sure that we're staying grounded, pay attention to the changes that are happening, and kind of just make little adjustments as things happen and as things change.